Yes, I am driving a BMW and I am using a turn signal. I am not a proper BMW owner. Welcome to Motorvault Vehicles for Enthusiasts. I'm Josh and we represent this awesome 1983 BMW Alpina C1 2.3. It is a tribute to an original C1 2.3. Absolutely awesome 1980s retro vibes that could take you to the moon. We love cars like this. If you love cars like this, give us a like, follow, and a subscribe. And we need to figure out what's going on with this Alpina. Presented in Polaris silver, this E21 is quite striking with the green and blue Alpina graphics, the Alpina wheels, front spoiler, back spoiler looks absolutely fantastic. This car was thought to be an original Alpina C1 2.3. We found out from Alpina that it is not, but it does have a lot of real Alpina parts on it, including the wheels, the seats, the wing, the front air dam, and they look fantastic. The E21 chassis, in my opinion, is one of the most slept on BMWs of all time because it comes between two of the greats of the motoring world, the 2002 and the E30, two cult classics, and left in between is this fabulous looking BMW with that gorgeous shark nose. There is one thing that modern BMW design does not have, and it's this. It's that gorgeous, pure kidney bean front grille, those beautiful, simple, round headlights, and that awesome chin spoiler on this one looks absolutely incredible. This is what BMW has been known for, especially on this one when the nose is kind of pointed in. It's got that shark nose feature that obviously carried into the E24 shark nose. This one's a little bit more subdued, but a great, great looking car, a great blend between the 2002 and the E30. 1980s, I love it. 1980s design, having everything squared off, has aged really, really well in my opinion. I love the squared off taillights, that sharp razor Alpina rear spoiler, and also I do really like on this one the Euro front and rear bumpers, because the American bumpers on these cars were big and chunky. Didn't like those. These look proper. Just this overall boxy design is so iconic, so classic. And it is a great value for the money in comparing it to the E30. Under the hood is the M20 2.3 liter straight six, 148 horsepower, 151 foot-pounds of torque. Very healthy, good motor. The original real Alpinas did have about 170 horsepower and close to that in torque as well. So the Alpinas had a little bit more power, but unless you're doing really hard performance driving, you really won't be able to tell a difference. These are great, solid, bulletproof motors. As long as you take care of them, they will take care of you. Very silky smooth with that 5-speed manual transmission. Provides a lovely, lovely driving experience. And I love with this car is the hood on these are so cool since they are kind of like a vet, but cooler. Inside the E21, you are sitting in these really, really cool Alpina Sport bucket seats. They feel fantastic. They hug your hip quite tightly, which is nice for sport driving, especially if you're ripping around tight corners. The Alpina steering wheel on this feels lovely, looks fantastic, but everything in here is nice and simple. And which is really cool on this car, given the fact that it does have the green and blue Alpina graphics on it. The tack on it going all the way up to the red line, it is green. So the whole green, blue, red theme, it kind of works on this car. And especially this one's got the dark blue door cards, which is a nice touch. One really, really unique piece on this car that caught me by surprise when we got it is right under the sun visor, there's a bunch of Japanese script. This car was brand new, a Japanese market left-hand drive BMW. So one bit that's really cool that I like with the interior on these is that you actually have the window switches right underneath the gear lever, which is pretty awesome. So right there, when you're switching gears, you can just toggle down and get the windows. I think that's pretty rad. To add to the retro feel of this car, it does have a 1980s Pioneer head unit and those big old Pioneer speakers in the back. You know, whoever owned this car was properly fun with those big old woofers in back and with that wicked, wicked paint scheme. Welcome to Motorvault Vehicles for Enthusiasts, and we are out driving a 1983 BMW that is a tribute to an Alpina C1 2.3. All the cool Alpina graphics, wheels, seats. This thing is rad and it is fun to drive. The E21 chassis is a heavily underappreciated car, and with that silky smooth 6-cylinder, it is hard to go wrong with a car like this. A lot of people in the BMW and the motoring world are always heavily biased to the E30 chassis, which is a phenomenal car. But so many people sleep on the E21, the predecessor to the E30. And the nice thing about it is that it's got that really cool shark nose design. That front end, that nice, slim, pointed front, looks truly incredible. And obviously, later on, that styling design was used on the E24 M6 and 6 Series Shark Nose. One of the greatest touring cars that BMW has ever produced. After driving this car for a bit, it is very tight, very responsive. You tell this car has been well cared for, and it is really sweet to drive. I absolutely love the way this car looks. These cars don't have a ton of power, but that is not what these cars are meant to be. These are meant to be great drivers. You can enjoy them in whatever scenario. You're gonna look really cool doing it. These are just fun, tossable, really enjoyable, connected rides. For this car's age, it is shockingly smooth. I am very impressed with actually how tight the chassis is too. I know people always say about the E30, and yes, they are great cars. I've driven a couple. These are fun little cars, man. That not many people get to drive E21s that are in this good a shape. But man, when they're this dialed, I don't see why you wouldn't consider an E21 if the E30 is on the table as well. But if you really like the shark nose design, you got one heck of a car for the money. 1980s design is wrapped up in this E21. It's great boxy features, cool graphics, great looking wheels. The only thing we're missing is a pair of aviators, and I've got plenty of those. If you guys love this Alpina tribute like I do, let us know in the comments. We've got plenty more cars like this coming in the near future. We will see you around soon.